Hi, everyone. Welcome to Ask Julie Anything tonight, Thursday. Thank you for joining us. We are live from Julie's Farmhouse front porch, and we're going to be taking your questions for the next hour. Let us know if you can hear us. Say hello in the chat. Hey, Pete. And by all means, put your Q&A in the Q&A section, and we'll do our very best to get to them all. Hi, Julie. Thanks for joining us.
Hi.
How are you today?
Good. I'm one extreme to another. It's like I've got all my windows shut. I have my hat on. I have a long sleeve shirt on. It's really cooled down. It went from like 28 degrees to 17 degrees in like an hour.
Wow.
So I know.
Storm rolling in?
I don't know. I'm just looking. Just want to check my settings. It looks a little. Do I look all right? Like, meaning fuzzy?
You look great. No, I think you look great, Julie.
Like, my thingamajig okay? Okay.
You're coming in clear over here. Let us know in the chat. Okay. Julie looking clear? Ready to go?
Do I look all blurry? Because I look blurry to me, but that could be because I'm tired.
All good, Jen says. Hi, Allison.
I went to, I don't know how many people have ever seen an osteopath, but I went to see my osteopath today, and every time I do, it's like I feel like everything's blurry for a while because I think she puts me back in line, and I get like, ugh. So all right. So how many people? It would be awesome. I wonder how many people got to see the event. I haven't been able to talk to you guys since the event.
That's a good question. Was anyone at the event that's here tonight? I know I saw Pete there. I think Allison was. April, yeah, of course. Hey, April.
Tammy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Becky was there. Jen was there. Right on, Lynn. Thanks, you guys.
Good.
Thank you for the support.
Everybody got the magazine?
We sent out the magazine on Tuesday. You should have received it by email. Becky got it. Cool. Lynn got it. Awesome. And if you didn't get it, email us, events@adoredbeast.com, and we'll make sure we shoot you a copy.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Don't miss it. It's like, it's incredible. It's 100, how many pages? 100 and what?
It's over 120 pages.
It's like so I've had so many emails and so many texts, people saying it's like a Bible, or it's like a resource, it's like a resource book, or it's like, it's not a magazine, it's like something I want to have on my table so that I can keep going and like resourcing the articles and stuff. So for whoever, someone said I tried to open it and it did something, but
I seem to only get ads. That's not right, Allison. Send me a private message on Facebook and I'll give you a hand with that.
What did she say it did?
I tried to open it. It seemed to only get ads. That's strange. I mean, there's a couple ads in there, but they're from like our speakers that were offering like coupons for things.
I'm just going to open this a tiny bit. I'm really hot. Ugh, now I'm hot.
You guys can email me, events@adoredbeast.com, or Steph, STEPH, @adoredbeast.com. Julie, can you still hear me? Do you want to get going here? I've got a ton of questions already at 4 minutes after. Roanne wrote in and she said that she ordered Dr. Mercola's glandular support, and she also is getting your highly recommended Spay Neuter protocol from Andrea, andrearing.ca, for anyone who's looking for that. She said, can I use both since the homeopathic is only given once per month? Thank you.
Yes, 100%, because they work totally different. Karen's is based on glandulars, and homeopathy is based on an energetic medicine. So you can 100% you guys can use both. I'm just moving this up now. And that's not a problem. It's actually a really good idea to do both, because you're sort of giving a crude substance on one hand and then an energetic substance on another. So yeah, that's good.
Awesome. I've got Kate too. She's got a French bulldog. He's raw fed. He's taking love bugs. Awesome. He has very bad skin allergies. I've been applying the Yeasty Beast topical spray to try and help with the itching. I'm planning on trying the Yeasty Beast protocol, and I'm wondering if he should remain on the love bugs while doing the protocol, whether it should be stopped and restarted once the protocol is complete. And she's also wondering about the Yeasty Beast topical spray. Should she stop using that if she starts a protocol?
If she uses the Yeasty Beast protocol, is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, she'd like to start the Yeasty Beast protocol.
If she starts the Yeasty Beast protocol, then she should be definitely stopping love bugs.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be using you don't want to use the whole concept of Yeasty Beast is that we've got specific enzymes and herbs in it that kill the muscular skeletal system of the yeast and then actually digest it. And sometimes when you're doing that and you're doing a lot of probiotics, or you're even doing a lot of probiotics on its own, you can kill the yeast too fast, and then you get something called a Herxmeyer reaction, or a Herx reaction is what it's called. And that's when the yeast dies too quickly and the body gets toxic from the dead yeast, and then it can actually look like the yeast is getting worse, but it's not. So when you're using the Yeasty Beast protocol, you don't want to be doing any probiotics at all with it.
Thanks, Julie.
Definitely can use a topical spray if it helps.
Definitely. And that's for Kate. I see you there, Kate. We were just chatting on Instagram about 5 minutes before the session started.
The other thing I wanted to say though about that is that use the Yeasty Beast if you think your dog has yeast. But if you don't know whether it has yeast, you can try, like if it's got that corn chippy smelling feet and the black skin, and if it really looks like yeast, then it would be helpful to try. But it really depends. I wouldn't jump right into Yeasty Beast if you don't know it has yeast. But if you do have yeast, then definitely I would start with that.
Awesome. Thanks. Okay, Sarah, her dog, or you know what? I don't know if it's a dog, cat, horse. Bree has been having internal bleeds every 2 to 4 months, and the vet has her on Yunnan Bio. Anything else I can do for her to help keep her comfortable? Dog, Sarah says. Thanks, Sarah. Hi, Julie.
Internal bleeds?
Yeah. Every 2 to 4 months. Sarah from Seattle.
You mean, Sarah from Seattle. Hi, Sarah. Internal bleeding? And it's not hemangiosarcoma. They know that for sure? Maybe she can not
sure.
Well, I'd be contacting Andrea Ring. They wanted to do spleen removal. Okay. Yeah. So they probably think it's hemangiosarcoma, which is a tumor on the spleen. Sometimes it's cancerous and sometimes it's not. But she's 13. Sarah, I got to tell you, please get a hold of Andrea. Our clinic had the most amazing protocols for hemangiosarcoma. We and hemangioma, so whether it's a carcinoma tumor or a benign tumor, you would not believe the success that homeopathy can provide for either. And the body has a really strong ability to reabsorb that blood given the right homeopathic remedies. And Andrea's got my protocol that I used at the hospital, and man, we've had animals live for years on that protocol with tumors on their spleens. So can you put Andrea's information in the chat for Sarah?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got andrearing.ca is her website, and I'll put that in the chat right now.
Yeah, and Andrea is familiar with your dogs too, Sarah. So I think I have her on Facebook too, so I'll get in touch. Okay, perfect. Good. Yeah, she'll be able to give you the protocol. She won't have to go into a big, huge probably ordeal. She'll probably be able to just send, like, get to the protocol right away for you.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Stephanie asked, "Hi, Julie. I currently feed my 3 poodles Answer's goat milk. It's rather costly. Would it be the same for me to make kefir with low temperature pasteurized goat milk?"
Probably not. 3 poodles on Answer's goat milk. You know what I would do? Billy's so awesome. I would just contact Billy and say that you're having a hard time financially, and how would it be best to really like sorry, extend that product. You could always do like combinations. So because Answer's goat milk has a lot of different kinds of probiotics in it, you could do something like Phytosphlora, because you'll know for sure that the bacteria in Phytosphlora wouldn't be in Answer's goat milk, and vice versa. Answer's goat milk has bacteria that Phytosphlora doesn't have. And that's ultimately what you want to do, because you want to be giving you want to feed a body, whether it's a dog, cat, pig, or goat, horse, doesn't matter, the most diverse strains as you possibly can. So you want to have the most diverse ecosystem as you possibly can. So with the goat milk, you're going to get sort of goat species bacteria, lactic bacteria, things like that. And then with Phytosphlora, you're going to get really the canine specific bacteria that came from a dog's gut, rather than anything else, right? That's on the market. So I wouldn't worry about love bugs or anything like that. Oh my goodness. What I would do is I would probably start maybe alternate them. Do one day, do one the next day, then do another one. And that's going to spread it out for a longer period of time and probably reduce the cost. And you're going to be doing different things, right? Because Phytosphlora has fulvic and humic acid in it, which is a mineral, and it detoxifies and chelates things like, heavy metals and pretty heavy duty toxic things that animals can come into contact with. And then it has over 90 organic minerals in it that you can't even get in soil anymore. So really doing those 2 things would be incredible for the gut. The other thing that fulvic and humic acid does, and the canine strain, we're allowed to actually make health claims now that prove that it helps with the permeability of the gut lining. So at the same time, you're feeding all these probiotics, but you're keeping the gut lining really, really strong, and so that it can't leak, like for leaky gut. So you would be achieving a lot of really cool gut health support doing those things alternately. And again, just reach out to Billy and ask him what you could do.
Awesome, Julie. Thank you. Amanda's got a question. Hi, Julie.
Hi.
I'm wondering if you think it's necessary to add a digestive enzyme to your dog's meals to make sure they are absorbing all the nutrients. Both of my dogs have some leaky gut going on, it seems. So I just want to make sure they're getting everything they need from their meals. Thank you.
100% I do. And I do for a couple different reasons. Actually, more than a couple. So in a perfect world, we would be giving, when we would do raw food diets, we would be giving whole animal prey, right? So we would be getting brains and guts and hair and skin and nails and pads and hooves and all kinds of stuff. And we don't. And because we don't, things like there are things in the body that help the digestive process in there's things in the body of the prey that dogs and cats don't get in raw food diets because they're not allowed to put them in because of government regulations, that decrease their natural enzymatic ability. So I believe that digestive enzymes are really, really important to give on a pretty regular basis. And I think that if you really think that there's some leaky gut issues, like your dog is suffering with leaky gut, then it's even more important to have digestive enzymes, because when the guts have holes in them, so when the junctions of the mucosal lining of the gut start to stretch and open like a tea strainer, or like instead of being like that, they're like that. Then what happens is the food goes through undigested into the bloodstream, which causes a strong reaction because of the size of the molecule. So it also creates malnutrition, because if it's not digested when it goes into the bloodstream, then they don't get their micronutrients, they don't get nutrients, they're lacking greatly in nutrition. So if you can get their food digested sooner and more thoroughly, then if your dog or cat has leaky gut, or your horse, then what'll happen, or anybody, what'll happen is that the digestive enzymes will help to get the body to absorb the food, or at least make the food molecules smaller, if it does go through the permeability of the gut. So enzymes are very important. It's a long way around to say it's important, but it is important, and those are the reasons why.
Yeah, it's good to know the reason why we're doing this stuff, right? To understand it is important.
And again, it's twofold. So until you know that you don't have a leaky gut problem anymore, you should be using digestive enzymes. Once you feel like you have the gut lining healthy again, then you can use things like fulvic and humic acid to be sure that you're maintaining that integrity of permeability of the gut. So then you can play around with enzymes more, right? So you can maybe use them every second day, or every sixth meal. You can stretch it along, and you may not have to do it as often, but until you know that, you should definitely be using a digestive enzyme.
Great, Julie. Thank you. Amanda's here, and she says, hi, Julie. I'm just wondering if you think it's necessary. Oh, shoot. We just answered Amanda. Sorry, guys. This is from an anonymous attendee. What would you recommend to give to help keep calm my 24-pound Aussie Labradoodle when he hears the distant sounds of fireworks? I experienced this last night. That come out of the blue during an evening walk. I'm assuming because we're coming into July 4th, right?
Yeah.
He goes into flight drive, heavily pants, sometimes shakes and refuses to go for the washroom. Once he's inside, he's calm and he's his normal self. Now he seems to not want to go out on evening walks, even if no noise is heard. I tried CBD, 250 milligram dose, and I've been adjusting the drops, yet there's still no difference.
Okay.
Good question.
A couple of things. Now he's got something called anticipatory anxiety, right? So there's two different anxieties around fireworks. One is they're walking along, do, everything's fine, and then they hear it, and it freaks them out. And then the next time, or next couple, if it happens a couple times, and the next thing that happens, not only are they afraid when they hear it, they're anticipating hearing it. So then they're going to get scared. So that's more like an anticipatory anxiety. So there's a really good homeopathic remedy called Argentum nitricum. And it's an awesome remedy to give to try and reduce that anticipation of anxiety. We have a product called Your Go-To, and it has aconite and arnica in it. It's a really good one to try with them, or just if you can't get it because we don't have it in the US. Aconite, just aconite, and the remedy phosphorus are two really, really good homeopathic remedies. And at Halloween, when I used to live in Vancouver, Halloween was insane for fireworks. Absolutely ridiculously stupid insane. And I would have patients after patients after patients, animals having, cats and dogs getting bladder infections because they literally would not go outside to pee because they were so scared to go out and get bombarded with fireworks at any second. So the remedy, we would definitely use CBD, but you have to make sure, first of all, make sure it's a really good quality CBD. And I don't think that anything under 500 milligrams is going to do anything, right? I think you're going to need at least 500 milligrams. And I would be trying to give it to them an hour before taking them out. If you could give it to them, like, you can also contact your CBD company, but during high stress times of fireworks and things like that, you could be probably giving it to them twice a day. And same with the argentum nitricum and the aconite, and even the phosphorus in high times. You could be doing it twice a day for, you don't want to be doing it much longer than a week, but you could be doing it for around a week when it's really, really high season.
Awesome. That's super helpful. And especially because we can't anticipate when these holidays are happening. So we can kind of start supporting.
Exactly.
Gearing up for it.
Yeah. And the potencies that you should be trying to find are at least 200 C. So if you can get an argentum nitricum 200, if you could get an aconite 1M or 200, and if you could get a phosphorus 200 C.
Awesome. Yeah. And where can we buy those things? Natural health food store?
Natural health food stores. There's a company called Homeopathy Overnight. You can order it online. But the health food stores should have them.
Awesome. Okie dokie. Vicky, I have a 14-year-old holding her own against salivary cancer. All right. Good for her. I've read glutamine is used by cancer cells when they can't find sugars or carbs. I see it's an ingredient in Gut Soothe. Could you please advise?
Whether they should have it or not with cancer?
I believe that's the question, yeah.
Yeah, they can have it. My personal experience, I can't, you can never say always with every single person or every single animal, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. But it's something that I had all my patients on. And the reason I had them on it was because the majority of them were on Gut Soothe. Most of my cancer patients were on Gut Soothe because of the calming effect that it has on the whole gut. And sometimes with cancer, and depending on what your other herbs and stuff that you're using, you just really want to make sure that the gut is soothed. That's why it's called Gut Soothe, that it stays not inflamed, right? When they have cancer, we want to make sure that the liver is functioning really, really good, because if you're doing things to try to fight the cancer, then when cancer cells die, the liver really, really kicks in. So you want to make sure that the liver health is good, and you do want to make sure that the gut is as healthy as you possibly as much as it possibly can be.
Awesome. Thank you. Allison. Hi, Allison. Her Cavalier, with a Chiari malformation. Am I saying that right?
Chiari? Can maybe type it?
Chiari malformation. Chiari.
Okay, yeah.
in gabapentin, which seems to be less effective these days. Do you have any suggestions? She's considering
of her heart. What did you? Sorry, can you repeat that? I was trying to look down at the chat to see if she could write it again so I could read it.
Allison, if you can, write it in the chat there and help me sound it out, please. She's got a Cavalier with
Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, probably, right? Yeah.
I think so, with a Chiari malformation.
Okay.
Chiari, I don't know what that is. Okay. Seems to be less effective these days. The gabapentin, it's not working as well. She's considering switching to pregabalin, or do you have any natural options? She's already on CBD. She's raw fed, and she's currently taking the leaky gut protocol. It's a neurological thing. That's what she said.
And they can, in that breed, can get it. There's other breeds that have similar stuff, but I think in that situation, honest to God, I know I talk about her a lot, but our clinic, I was really, really lucky. I'm not lucky, but we saw a lot of really rare stuff at our clinic because we, for a long time, we were really the only holistic clinic around. And then when we got really big and really popular, I mean, people came from all over the place to see us, like in the States and everything. And we saw a lot of really rare stuff. And so all my interns have had a lot of experience with rare diseases when it comes to homeopathy. So anything neurological, anything like that, I would say should be treated homeopathically. So again, the only reason I'm saying get a hold of Andrea or Sue Armstrong in England too. Sue Armstrong takes homeopathic cases online. She's really amazing too. So either Andrea Ring or Dr. Sue Armstrong would be someone I 100% would contact about that, because I think you can. We had a little dog that was it looked like a Bichon Frise cross, and it was a rescue from Mexico, and it was completely paralyzed. It was completely recumbent, couldn't use front legs, back legs, nothing. It was totally normal when they rescued it, and then they took it to the vets. Something happened, whether it was a trauma at the vets and all the vaccines that it had to have coming over. Anyways, we have one day I would love to do something. This girl, how she even found this dog, I'm going to talk really fast. How she found this dog was they were doing a movie, because Vancouver's a big movie place, but they were massive did I freeze?
No, you're good.
Okay, this massive garbage, like landfill site in Mexico. And the dog was a stray and living on this landfill site. And anyway, she had these beautiful pictures of this stray dog, and then she recorded this dog's complete journey from when she first saw it and was feeding it on set, to it going to the vets and then coming back and becoming completely paralyzed. And I mean, she went to the biggest neurological, like board certified veterinary neurologist in the world. And we wound up treating it homeopathically, and we did hydrotherapy and laser on this dog. And it took a long time. It had to wear diapers. She had to express its bladder, but it took about a year, but she recorded the whole thing, and the dog is walking now. Like it's, and she was told so many times to put the dog to sleep. But homeopathy is just a fascinating, I've just seen it do miracles, like for real miracles. So I would contact one of those people when it comes to that.
Thanks, Julie. Awesome. Jennifer's asking, what's the longest that Yeasty Beast protocol has been taken to complete?
Well, the Yeasty Beast protocol, it's a funny thing. It's funny, just like yeast is. Yeast is a, you know what? I have seen dogs take 4 full protocols to get through it, but they don't stay on the 4 protocols one back to back. They'll do it, they give them a break, then they do it again, and they give them a break. And how you know whether they still need it is if they're doing better, and then you give them like let's say Phytophthora, right? Again, we'll use Phytophthora. And you not load them up, but you give them a recommended dose of Phytophthora, or you decide that you're going to put them on the leaky gut protocol, because once they're on yeast, you can be guaranteed they will have leaky gut, because yeast just destroys the gut lining. And if you put them on a really, really potent probiotic, or you put them on leaky gut protocol, which has a lot of probiotics in it, and they get worse, it means they still have a high load of yeast, because what they're doing is getting a Herxheimer reaction. So you can, what a couple people have done is they've done the protocol, then they've tried giving some probiotics. If the dog, like I said, if the dog gets worse, they put them back on the Yeasty Beast protocol, and they switch them back and forth like that to see. Or they've done sort of a full protocol of this. I've seen a few dogs do. They go on the Yeasty Beast protocol, then they'll go on a half dose of leaky gut and only do half of the leaky gut protocol. Then they go back on the Yeasty Beast. So what you're actually doing is you're killing the yeast, then you're supporting the gut, but you're not supporting the gut with huge amounts of probiotic that you're going to get a die-off. Then you go back on the Yeasty Beast. Then the next time you do you do a full leaky gut protocol. If they start to get worse on the full leaky gut protocol, you back them down to half a dose of the leaky gut protocol, and then you follow with another Yeasty Beast. So what you're doing, because yeast is hard to get rid of when you've been on ketoconazole and you've been on antibiotics, and it's a really vicious circle, and it's a beggar to get rid of. So what you're actually doing is you're killing the yeast, then you're making the gut stronger, then you're killing the yeast, then you're making the gut stronger. And as you're reducing the load of yeast, then you can just give the full leaky gut protocol, even along with Phytophthora and Phytosynergy, and then you just ramp up their immune system, and you really, really focus on the gut. And then that winds up often wiping out the majority of yeast that's left. But I really believe that people know their animals, so it's a really good idea to just try and see what works for your dog, because there is no this is the rules for every single thing. It's such a they're all so gentle, and they're so synergistically formulated that I don't worry that you're going to do anything wrong. And I truly believe that owners know, or pet parents know their animals better than anybody does. So you can ebb and flow with those two things, or even the Yeasty Beast and the Phytophthora, let's say, or Yeasty Beast, Phytophthora, and Phytosynergy together are cool ones. You can play with them and see what works best for your dog. And they have such long shelf life. They have a great shelf life. So even if you were to wind up doing like trying the Yeasty Beast protocol, then trying Phytophthora with Phytosynergy after that, and then back on the yeasty beast protocol, then the leaky gut, and sort of alternate them like that. And then just find what, if you hear that noise, it's my guinea hens. Just see what works best with your own animal, because you'll be able to tell. 100% you'll be able to tell.
Awesome, Julie. Thank you. Allison wants to know, is raw goat milk okay to use with the leaky gut protocol?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just not great to use with the yeasty beast protocol, because raw goat, no, you know what? Raw goat's milk is fine. It would be the kefir that wouldn't be great. So plain raw goat milk is totally fine to go with the yeasty beast or leaky gut. It's completely fine.
Awesome. Hannah, hi Julie, hi Stephanie. My 7-year-old neutered male Labradoodle has had anal gland issues for some time. I home cook his food, now under the guidance of Sarah Griffiths. All right. And he does lick his paws, but they are not brown, so it may not be yeast. I just had his anal gland expressed, but his back end is still a bit red and irritated. Is there anything I can help to soothe him?
And what did she first say? What was the first couple words of that question?
7-year-old neutered Labradoodle, had anal gland issues for some time, home cooked food.
Home cooked food. Does Sarah have him on homeopathic remedies? Can she answer that?
Hannah, are you here? Could you let us know in the chat quick? Hannah's here. Yeah, she'll let us know in the chat.
Okay.
Well, we wait for, no, not yet.
Talk to Sarah about remedies. Because if Sarah's got you on some of the Adored Beast products, which she probably does, and then she's probably doing nutritional consults with you. Sarah worked with me too. So she's gonna know what to do diet-wise to help with anal glands. And then if he's really having a problem, just tell her that you were on one of my things and that you discussed it with me, and that she can probably give him a remedy he's on gut soothe right now. That's awesome. So, but what he might need right now is just a sort of an acute remedy to just ease the inflammation around the anal gland until she gets down to the core reason why he's got it. So if he has anal gland issues, it's a deeper reason, right? It's not his anal glands. It's either chronic inflammation, it's an allergy or a food sensitivity, or he's not getting enough bone, or the anal sphincter, which is the little hole, has scarring in it because it's been squeezed too much by groomers or vets. There could be many reasons why. So sometimes it affects them so much that you need to do sort of an acute homeopathic remedy just to give them some ease to the discomfort until it's actually the underlying issue is dealt with. So just talk to Sarah. She'll know what to do homeopathically to try to alleviate that. And you can bathe that area with chamomile tea just to calm it down. If you have a really, really good CBD oil, I've done that, where it's really, really, really itchy, or it's really inflamed, or it's really, really irritating them. I've taken some CBD oil, put it on my finger, and rubbed it all around the anal gland and sort of go inside their anus just a tiny little bit, just to the topical CBD will help to sometimes will help to calm down that inflammation and that irritation.
Totally. Thanks, Julie. Jennifer, anything recommended for a dog with a low red blood cell count?
Low red blood cell count. Wow. Yeah. First of all, why? Because it shouldn't have a low red blood cell count. So there's something wrong. Lots of things to look at why something might have a low, depending on how old it is, but diet. some kind of tick-borne virus. Did she just say something else? Sorry, I missed something.
No.
Okay, so a tick-borne virus can, some kind of underlying autoimmune issue can cause that. A mineral deficiency can cause that. Calcium phosphorus ratios being off with their food. There's lots of different reasons why that can happen. I would try and find out why. The thyroid, you could do a thyroid, like a full thyroid panel. Jean Dodds has the best one, I think. Check to see if there's a reason and how really low it is. And then there's a bunch, maybe once you can find that out too. But in the meantime, phytosynergy is really good for supporting healthy red blood cells. If it's caused from some kind of autoimmune disease, the first thing that I would be thinking, like even if we don't know it yet, the first thing I would be thinking is phytosynergy, Phytos flora, and liver tonic would be the three things that I would be probably starting them on right away. And if they've been vaccinated anytime in the last little bit, you might want to be looking at doing a few doses of the anti-vax. But I would definitely be looking at why does it have a low, why is there, it says, I put more info to my question.
Just scanning right now, Jen. The owner doesn't know why, but the dog has been on prednisone for well over a year now. Blood tests are constantly done. Huh.
Well, if they've got it on prednisone, I don't know, but prednisone is to suppress the immune system. So they must think it's some kind of like thrombocytopenia or some kind of blood disease that comes from an autoimmune disease. And if that's the case, you know what I'm going to say next, right? Like if that's the case, I would get it on phytos. I would still do those three products without a doubt, because we are now allowed to say that Phytos flora has the ability to modulate the immune system. So, and why we can, and what that means is that there is nothing really conventionally that modulates the immune system. They can either try and increase it or decrease it. So prednisone suppresses the immune system, so it doesn't attack itself. And what ideally is what we would rather do, because then if it's suppressed, then what winds up happening is we get secondary diseases from bacteria because we've suppressed the immune system. So what we want to do is we want to modulate the immune system. So, oh my goodness, sorry. And how we do that is by, producing the antibodies in the body that when the immune system goes too high, it brings it down, and then when it goes too low, it brings it up. So it's constantly looking at it's called an immune modulation rather than an immune suppression or immune enhancer. We can say that Phytos flora does that now. You would definitely not be taking this dog off prednisone without your vet's help. And so what I would do is I would put them on those three things. Then I would be contacting somebody like Sue or Andrea, working with them, and then going to your vet to see if they can start to reduce the pred, to see if the red blood cells maintain and don't drop.
She said, thank you so much. You're welcome, Jen. Tamara Tokash, is that you?
Hi.
On the subject of answers, can you please go into more detail as to why I often see yeasty ears after offering the cow kefir? I inquired about this before. I'm just curious as to why this might be happening. It happens a good deal to our clients' dogs.
It's so funny. You guys have to tell Billy how many questions I get from answers.
We need to get Billy back on here.
Oh, so, I mean, I can't speak to answers directly, but I can definitely speak to kefir, right? And why I would think that that might happen with answers is because they have like the best goat kefir probably in the world. So, when it has, it's exactly the same thing. When something is packed full of like really powerful probiotics, it kills yeast, right? But when the yeast die too quickly, it looks like there's an abundance of more yeast. The symptomatology of dying, of yeast dying too quickly, looks like the same symptomatology of getting more yeast, if that makes sense. That's why we did the yeasty beast protocol, because what happens is you want the yeasty beast protocol has a specific enzyme in it that as it's killing, it's starving the yeast and killing the yeast, and then the enzymes help to ingest the yeast. Because when the yeast dies fast, what'll happen is that the dead yeast produce 15 times the toxins of live yeast. Yeast is very, very toxic. I think it has like 15 or 30 different toxins. It's like, and one of them being what's the stuff you clean you take nail polish off with?
Nail polish remover, acetone.
Acetone. So yeast actually has acetone as a toxic chemical. It actually produces acetone. And that's where you see that really, really inflamed and red and bleeding and itchy, because it destroys the layer of the skin. So when you kill a bunch of yeast and it sits there in like the little yeast cemetery, which is usually, you know, wherever the highest death rate is, it will appear to look like you have more yeast. The dog or the whomever, whatever, has more yeast, but it's not. It's the dead yeast's toxicity. So the key to killing yeast and getting rid of yeast long term is to do it. People want to just get rid of it, like get it the hell out of my dog's body, right?
Yeah.
We don't want to do it that way. We want to do it in slow increments, because when we blow it out of the water, it can look worse than when it had it. So to answer that question, I would say that if it's happening a lot with their goat kefir, that it's so potent and so powerful that it's killing too much yeast too quickly. Who is that, Donald? That's actually that's my guinea hens. They're out. It's almost dark and they're outside. They're the last ones to go in at night. They sit outside and eat bugs and scream at each other.
They sound like dinosaurs.
They look like dinosaurs. They're awesome.
Okay, Roanne wants to know, thanks for asking my question. Can Julie talk a bit about how the glandular and spay neuter protocol helps older dogs who were fixed at a young age? So Roanne had the question earlier. She's using the Mercola and Andrea's.
Okay.
Yeah.
For sure. It's the same way that it's not exactly the same, but the same way that with menopause and things like that, that bioidentical hormones have been used so much with people. It helps to support hormonal balance. So it helps with in spay incontinence, so leaking. It helps with muscle maintenance. It helps with cognitive behavior, so it helps with brain health. It can help with any kind of age related where they're aging too quickly, right? So animals will age faster without sex hormones. It just is a fact. And it could be a whole different 5 hours of conversation, but there is no doubt that they will age faster. So what we want to do is we want to support the body, not trick the body, but help the body balance with what's left in the body that still creates hormones, right? So the thyroid, the pituitary, the thymus, there's a lot still in the body, especially the brain, that produces hormones that can help to mimic or doesn't replicate, but it can mimic the advantages, the advantages of having sex hormones. So we want to make sure by giving those hormones and those glandulars, whether you're starting off right from scratch from puppy and kittenhood, or you're starting off in geriatric times, it doesn't matter. It's going to help the system support the hormonal health. And hormones is everything from stress to muscles to cortisol levels to digestion to like I said, urinary incontinence, fecal incontinence, the list goes on and on, arthritis. So that's what it'll start to help to address in an older dog, for sure. I used to have people that were on our spay and neuter. Oh God. I had people that were on my spay and neuter protocol, and I'm telling you, the amount of people that said, I have had my dog on every single solitary thing known to man for spay incontinence, and she has to wear a diaper, and she was able to stop wearing her diaper when she was on the spay protocol, the canine spay protocol. So it's just a whole gamut. Like your hormones affect every single part of your body. So gut health and hormone health are two very, 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 very vital things for longevity, health and longevity, for sure.
Awesome, Julie. Maybe we can squeeze 2 more in here.
Okay.
Heidi's asking, Julie, thank you so much for this session. My healthy 3-year-old yellow lab has been itching for the past 3 weeks. No change in diet, no lesions, no visible bites, no redness, can't see fleas, no ticks, no smelly ears. I don't think yeast is the issue. I've put him on bovine colostrum for immune function and allergy relief, as well as a product with quercetin, nettle, vitamin C as a natural antihistamine. Can we also give him salmon oil for healthy skin coat? Am I on the right track to curb environmental allergies?
Hopefully she's still here and she can answer some questions.
She's here. I see her. Yeah.
Okay. So everything that she's doing is on the right track, for sure. I haven't heard anything that helps with gut health. That's imperative. Like if you're not addressing the gut and you don't have a healthy gut, what you're doing is you're adding stuff that is going to support, but it's not going to address part of the immune system's response, like the IgG and IgA, which comes from the gut. So I would again, I don't want to keep pushing Phytos Flora, but I would probably use Phytos Flora because of the immune modulating effect. Because remember, when an animal goes into an allergy looking thing, itchy, the first thing that they do conventionally is give them an antihistamine and steroid mix, usually, which is something called Venectyl P. which isn't not a full, it's a low dose of steroids, but it's also got an antihistamine in it. So that's an immune suppressive drug. So we don't want to suppress his immune system, but we want to modulate it, right? We want to get it on track as fast as possible. If he's a healthy 3-year-old dog, something has happened that is triggering that, right? So I would definitely be looking at that for sure, at Phytosflora. The other really important thing for all of those questions that I haven't mentioned yet, I guess every time I say phytosynergy, I assume people know this, but I shouldn't. Sorry, guys. Phytosynergy has probably one of the largest amino acid profiles I've ever seen. And amino acids are so important for hormonal health. I cannot even tell you, for every health, but for brain health and muscle tissue and muscle health and skin integrity, it's vital. When you say salmon oil, I just saw you, I didn't forget that. You know, asking me about fish oil, it's really hard. It's really, really, really hard. I think that there are companies that have a lot of ethics around their fish oils. So go ahead, do fish oil for sure, but make sure that it's a company that you can trust a gazillion percent. And I'm doing my damnedest, and if you see that it helps, then what you can do is get them on a fish oil, and then start adding phytosynergy, because that helps to reduce the amount of fish oil that you have to give. And then you can sort of give less fish oil and continue giving phytosynergy. And then you're going to get the amino acids that you don't get from fish oil. And it's going to be more ethical for the oceans, because it's just really hard for me. And you, like I said, you have to make sure that like Mercola is really good. There's a lot of good, there are a lot of good fish oil companies. So just really do your research on fish oil before you just run out and buy salmon oil, because a lot of salmon oil is not very good. It's really poor quality, and it can cause more harm than good. So yeah, that's what you're on the right track. Just address his gut more for sure, and make sure that the fish oil that you're using is a really super good quality of fish oil.
I'd like to know if the colostrum's okay.
Yeah, so long as it's a good one.
Yeah, it depends on your source, right?
BioStar is an excellent colostrum. The really, really good one, because you have to be very careful with colostrums that you're checking Stephanie, what's it called? The
immunoglobulins?
Yeah. You have to make sure that it's a high amount of and not just like a basic one. Like, you want to make sure that it's a good one. And I don't know if Billy sells Answers, I think, sell frozen colostrum.
Oh, do they? Oh.
Yeah.
And I just put the BioStar website there in the chat.
It's an excellent source. And I think so is, and like I said, I think that Billy's is, Billy has frozen colostrum, I think.
Good. And I'm sure you can ask Answers on their Facebook page too, and they'll jump on and tell you right away.
Yeah.
Okay, one quick one, Julie. Peter wants you to answer this one fast. Can you talk about digestive enzymes being fed away from food, and talk about maybe a dosage?
Yeah, so good point, because that's why, in the yeasty beast, I say to try to not feed it with food. And that's because the enzyme that's used in yeasty beast is particularly focused on killing yeast and ingesting yeast, skeletal systems of the yeast. Using digestive enzymes away from food, there's a lot of research with certain enzymes that helps with free radical scavenging and inflammatory response. And rather than going to the protein that's in the diet, it goes to decreasing the inflammation that's in the bloodstream. So it's used for different things. I personally like doing both because I think that if we don't digest our food properly, or our animals don't digest their food properly, they are going to get a higher inflammatory response, and they won't be able to fight free radicals, and they're not going to get micronutrients, and their minerals are going to be skewed, and the whole 9 yards. So I think doing it both ways is ultimately the best way.
Awesome. Oh, Bev.
Love if you could get Julie to
answer your question. How do you feel about that, Julie?
Yeah, go ahead. She's
okay. Yes, she is.
Okay, I want to come to Newfoundland.
So do I. Hang on, I gotta find your question here. Bev, where did I put it?
Maybe ask her to throw it back in.
Bev, if you can, it's under the answered here with all the ones we've gone through. I'm having a hard time finding it. Oh, we got a free ride there, somewhere to stay. Oh, where the heck is it? Oh, here we go. Bev from Newfoundland. My dog has separation anxiety. We're making progress, but we are only at 2 to 2.5 hours on good days. I'm going to be away from home while he is in a new setting for about 8 hours. Is there anything I can give him to help with this period of time? He will be in a crate. There's no option there with his dog sister in the crate next to him. This is like home when we have to crate them.
Okay, two things is you can use aconite, like I was talking about the fear from the noises and stuff. You can use aconite for separation anxiety, but I think two things, and they're both free, and they're both, in my opinion, incredible they're incredible people, and they have amazing suggestions. So go on to Bev. I don't know whether you watched our event, our Stronger Together, the free event that we have, but go on to the segments. It's on YouTube. Stephanie will put it. Oh, good. Okay, so there was one on there about separation anxiety. So go on that. Then go into our magazine, and there is it's like a map, right, Steph, for separation anxiety, that she's actually done a map.
Oh, sorry guys.
What's wrong? You all right? It's a really and it's an incredible resource for that. And also CBD oil. So just make sure that it's organic and full spectrum, and that helps too. So those would be aconite, full spectrum organic CBD oil, and with no THC, or at least 0.03. And take a look at the magazine and the separation anxiety map.
Awesome. Yeah, I sent the note there to the behavioral and separation anxiety panel.
And make sure that she's got the magazine.
Yeah, Bev, if you want access to that magazine, shoot me an email, steph@adoredbeast.com, and I'll be happy to give you the access to it. That is all the time we have this evening, but we've got 10 questions left. Listen, if we didn't get to you, we apologize. Send us an email, because Kaylin, Julie, and the whole team, we want to help you guys. Kaylin's email is questions, plural, questions, @adoredbeast.com.
There was still 10 more?
I'm afraid so.
Oh boy.
I know. Maybe we'll do a longer one next time, or something like that. Rapid fire.
We keep saying that, and we don't.
Let's actually do it this time.
Okay, well, if everybody else can stay up, I'll stay an extra half an hour and try to get them done.
Or we'll start earlier, or something like that. Maybe we'll do it for your August. So the first week of the month, Julie does her Ask Julie Anything solo from her Farmhouse front porch. So maybe we'll go a little longer as a treat and see if we can't make it through all the questions in August.
I'll probably be 20 more. It'll be like, no, you know what we'll do? We'll have a pajama party. We'll just like put our pajamas on and stay up until 1 o'clock in the morning and see if we can get them all answered.
Yeah. I like that. Everyone loves it. Good. Pajama party August. We're doing it.
Okay.
Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you again.
Thank you.
Good night.
Yeah.